Today I will be teaching you how to make a paper mosaic. This picture is of a ceramic mosaic, which is a model for our project today. This is the example paper mosaic that I made. In the center of the picture you can see I made a silhouette of a boat with the background paper, and that's just something you can either choose to fill all of your images on the page with the paper, or you can choose to use your background paper to make a picture as well. So I wanted to show you how you could do that. And then at the bottom with the water, I ripped small pieces of paper in different sizes, shapes, and colors, and I used that for the mosaic along the bottom. And then in the sky I used strips of paper, also varying in size and color, to give definition and also just to show you the two different ways you can lay your paper on to your picture. Okay, to begin, I'm going to start by sketching my drawing that I'm going to be filling with the pieces of paper. And today I'm going to make an ocean with a boat on the water. You can choose to sketch your drawing beforehand with pencil or chalk, whatever you feel would work best, or you don't even have to sketch in the beginning at all. It's totally up to you. If you feel confident in your abilities to freehand this, then go for it. But your sketch doesn't have to be perfect either, because you are going to be filling the space around it with paper, so you will more than likely be covering up these lines with your pieces of paper. And there we go, there's our sketch. Okay, now that we have our sketch made, we are going to begin applying our little pieces of paper onto our background paper. It's nice to have a lot of contrast, so we have a dark piece of paper right now, and I'm going to be using a lot of bright colors on top of, see, I have different shades of blue and some really bright, vibrant colors to lay on top of our dark background. And to apply the paper, I'm going to just be using Elmer's glue, and here we go. So I'm going to start with my water, and I'm just going to apply the glue in little sections because it dries pretty fast. So, and a little goes a long way. You don't need an overabundance of glue on your picture. So here I have just this little section with glue on it, and I have 3 different shades of blue because it's good to vary in color. You don't want your whole picture looking the same. So I'm going to just, trying to get this in the picture, just rip some little pieces of paper, different sizes, and I'm going to stick them just right on the glue. And I'm going to try to cover up my pencil lines as best as possible so they don't show later on. And like the picture I showed in the beginning of the video, with the ceramic mosaics, usually there is grout showing in between, so in between the tiles. So for this paper mosaic, we are also going to leave space in between our little pieces of paper to make it more like the model, make it look like there's grout in between. So I'm just going to keep applying these little pieces of paper, just sticking them everywhere in different, I chose a variety of colors, and I'm making different shapes just to keep it interesting. So you just do this all along the bottom. Well, I'm doing it all along the bottom for my picture. But this is one technique that you can use to do mosaic. Next, we're going to move on to our sky. I've already started applying some of the glue to my paper. But for this process, it's basically the same thing, but I'm using strips of paper instead of ripping the paper. and I already have some pre-cut strips. For this pattern, I decided to go at an angle with my rays instead of having horizontal lines for my sky, which I could have done. But since I have this outline of this boat that I'm trying to leave as a silhouette with my background paper, I am going to go at an angle. That way I can get right in that triangle and fill up that space easier. So I just have different strips in different shapes and sizes, and actually I'm going to put the glue straight on the strip for these. Again, we're leaving space in between our strips to represent that grout. And it's perfectly okay to have the strips hang off of your paper in the process of laying them down, and then at the very end you can cut the extra pieces of paper that are hanging off the top. And I'm trying to represent like a sunset on my paper, so that's why I chose these warmer colors, and I chose 3 colors again because I want a lot of variety and brightness against this black dark paper background. I started laying down some more strips of paper on the opposite side of my boat, and I'm going in the same direction as my other rays were going. That way it looks like it has a nice flow to it. You don't want your strips of paper going in all different directions. Again, just trying to get super close to those pencil lines so they don't show up later on. See how I'm going in the same direction? That way it just looks like a continued strip of paper, even though you can use like a different color as I am. Even though I have orange right here, I'm going with the red over here, but it just has a nice long line. Okay, so here's my finished product just one more time, and I hope you really enjoyed this video and that it was helpful.